Target straight ahead. Left, 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 right, steady, steady, right, right, steady, steady now, steady, 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 now it's down.
At the outset, I must emphasize the fact that the Army, Navy and Air Force fought as a team. The idea was that each should operate as best as it could in its own element, while deriving as much support as possible from the other two. Within this inter-service framework, the Air Force had to provide support to the Army and the Navy and also fight its own war. The war in the East was one of movement, where our ground forces had to get to Dhaka as fast as possible, destroy or capture the Pakistani Army of Occupation, and liberate Bangladesh. In the Western theatre, it was largely a holding operation, with enough pressure applied at strategic points to prevent the enemy from taking any far territory. Over the years, we have developed an organization which places senior Air Force commanders alongside their Army and Navy counterparts. Each service retains its separate identity and freedom of action. Air support for the Navy consisted largely of maritime reconnaissance in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, with patrolling all along our coastline. These operations went on round the clock and were essential to the success of the naval blockades in the East and the West. The Air Force also ensured neutralization of the Pakistan Air Force prior to our Eastern Fleet approaching Chittagong. Likewise in the West, our Navy strikes in Karachi were closely coordinated with those of the Air Force. In the East, we established complete air superiority as part of our air war within the first 24 hours. Thereafter, our fighter and bomber aircraft devoted almost all their effort to knocking out enemy strong points, gun positions, tanks, vehicles and the like, which obstructed the advance of our ground forces.
Tila, Tili के पीछे hull down position. Advance.
Because we had complete freedom of the air, we were able to use unarmed helicopters and transport aircraft to speed the movement of our troops, weapons and equipment over rivers and streams where bridges had been destroyed. The speedy arrival of our ground forces at the gates of Dhaka owed a good deal to the air support available to them. The Western theatre posed different problems. Here our ground forces advanced into the Sindh desert under air cover from Barmer and Jaisalmer after our fighter bombers had knocked out 27 tanks in one morning at Longwala to stop a Pakistani thrust towards Jaisalmer. Elsewhere, our land forces were mostly engaged in holding our positions along the border, except in the Kargil sector, where joint army air operations resulted in the capture of some 37 posts. At Poonch and Cham, the Air Force was called upon to give close support, which it did by day and night. The Army Commander, General Candiff, tells me that the Air Force's attacks contributed a great deal to breaking the back of the enemy thrusts in those areas. Quite distinct from these supporting roles was the air war that we had to fight. This began soon after the Pakistan Air Force attacked us on the evening of 3rd December. We hit back with 27 bomber sorties that very night, attacking major Pakistan Air Force bases in the east and the west. These were followed next day by fighter attacks ranging from Karachi to Peshawar to Dhaka. All told, throughout the 14-day war, we flew about 500 sorties every 24 hours against targets in Pakistan, the object being to destroy as much as possible of the enemy's air force and reduce his capacity to make war. Leaflets were dropped over Dhaka on the 15th, calling for their surrender. This Niazi submitted the next day, bringing the war to a close.
बोलते है अटा कोनो लड़की है और है बताओ बताओ किधर गया चला गया बताओ बताओ
ওরা প্রায় 150-60 জন আমাদের বাড়ির মধ্যে প্রবেশ করছে তাদের জন্য কেউ আর বাড়ির আশেপাশে কেউ আসতে পারে না